welcome everybody. It's Mark, and today I am chatting with Gemma, who is a teacher of TM based in Hackney, London. And Gemma is very interesting because she has multiple professions, let's say. And so what I'm going to do is ask Gemma to tell us firstly her TM story, and then also to touch on how she feels that TM kind of helps her, or rather enables her to deal with the various responsibilities and activities that she is engaged in these days. So welcome to Gemma. Hi, Gemma.
Thank you. Hi, Mark. So shall I start with my TM story, how I learnt TM in the first place?
Go for it.
Okay, so I learnt TM over 5 years ago now, and my motivation for learning was a combination of, I'm a visual artist, I'm a painter, these are some of my paintings. I wasn't such an established painter before I learnt TM, and I knew about the work of David Lynch, and I was inspired to look into TM. But also, my health was not so good. I had borderline adrenal fatigue. I'd been working as a teacher in a school for young people who had been excluded from their mainstream school, their secondary school, twice, and they go to what they call a pupil referral unit. And I was their art teacher, and it was a really rewarding and very enjoyable job, but it also had a lot of stressful moments going on, and I kind of found that my energy levels had really dropped. So when I put the two together, that TM could help restore my energy and balance, plus it was going to boost my creativity, I was like, that's definitely worth a try. So that's what motivated me to learn 5 years ago. And it's been a steady kind of journey of increasing fulfillment across all areas ever since.
When you first learned to meditate, or TM, like 5 years ago, had you ever done any other meditation or mindfulness before, or was this kind of a new thing?
Well, I was living in Brighton at the time, and it's quite common, you know, within my social group, people were trying, you know, I'd been to the Buddha Center, I'd even tried some Zen meditation. So things were on the radar, but it wasn't until I didn't have any regular practice. So I had kind of dabbled, explored a few things, and I knew that it had value, but it wasn't until I learned TM. I mean, my personality is, you know, as it can be a little bit, you know, the stereotype of creative, a bit chaotic, and establishing the 20 minutes twice a day wasn't an overnight success for me. And this is why I'm always very encouraging to people who worry about, you know, am I going to stick to it? Is it going to work for me? And I say, well, I worried about that, and for good reason. But because the benefits of TM are so tangible, it's such a direct experience that it's what keeps bringing you back to the regular practice. So if you miss a session, say the second one of the day, then you really feel it, you notice it, and you know, you have that inclination to get back on track the next day. So yeah, it really worked.
Did it when you learned, did it start working from the get-go?
Yes and no. So I had a lot of fatigue and stress in my physiology, and so for a little while I was kind of even more tired for about a couple of weeks or so. I remember getting in touch with my teacher and asking, is this going to clear? And she was very confident that yes, it was. This was a good sign that fatigue was coming out of my system, and just to stick with it, and I was going to feel that clearness. And I did. But I would say, as soon as I left from that day of instruction, I knew that something profound had happened or been activated. It's just that in my particular case, and because everyone's physiology is just slightly different, then yeah, I had some fatigue to come out, and then that clearness came, and suddenly I was sleeping normal hours and able to wake up in the morning and feel like, I've got energy. What can I do with my day? Because prior to that, it felt like such a ongoing struggle, a battle. And it's not nice to feel like you don't have enthusiasm for your day. And I'm so, so grateful to have so much enthusiasm and energy for my day now. And that increases all the time.
And do you find it, so now you've got 4 jobs, let's say, I think you said 4 roles.
Yeah.
And how do you find it easy to find the time to meditate, or do you need to be disciplined, or how does it work?
Well, the twice a day meditation is what's holding the full intersecting roles together. If I don't have my twice a day, then things can start to feel a little bit out of balance, shall we say. So the discipline is quite effortless, because that first one in the morning, that's just a given, and then I know that I'm going to meditate again around 5 o'clock, and that's just become part of my routine. So whatever I'm doing, whether I'm coaching people or whether I'm running sessions with the Dream of Life, or I know to schedule in that time. And if it doesn't go to plan, then it doesn't matter. I can make it up. Maybe I'll meditate a little bit later that day, but always the twice a day.
Okay.
Wow.
And when you first when you trained as a teacher, when was that? Like a year or 2 ago?
Yeah. So I came back from the training in January 2019. Yeah.
Okay, so sort of 18 months. And when you taught your first students or clients, how did it go? Were you kind of, because I remember when I did my teacher training, I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to work? Is it going to work? How was it for your first sort of course or 2? How did you feel? And what were the results?
I think it's natural to have that concern. I was lucky that I was working alongside 2 very established TM teachers who were reassuring me that, you just need to teach and then you'll know that it works. Because I did have a bit of concern, but it was so smooth and so enjoyable straight off. I still remember my first student, the perfect first person to teach. She's so great. Now she's going on doing her advanced techniques, and yeah, I was
Brilliant.
nervous, but it was unfounded. It was all very smooth.
Sure. Okay. And would you have, if you had a friend or maybe a client of yours who was kind of half thinking of learning TM but wasn't quite sure because for various reasons, are there any words that you could sort of say to someone who is on the fence?
Well, I think it's powerful. Just when I think about the difference that TM has made to me, it's like it got me back in the game of life. Like I just really think, if you feel that you're not fulfilling your potential, if you feel like there's more for you to grow into, to develop into, more to give, then TM is just, it's still incredible to me the difference that it has made in my life. There's not enough hours in the day to be clear thinking and efficient, and to feel like there's a natural flow to the day as well. Because if you do struggle with anxiety or stress, it's hard to imagine that life could be a lot more easy, that you could be super productive, and that you could enjoy whatever it is that you're doing a whole lot more. It's a no-brainer. It's a definitely learn as soon as possible.